Hello, students. Hope you all are doing great. I welcome you all once again to Literary Literate. I am Akriti, and today I will be discussing or delivering a informative and crisp lecture on literary movement. So, literary movement is a area that is a short area that you will witness at least two or three questions in your exam. There are very few days left for your exam now, and yet it is a time to gather all the informative things that you are going to see in your paper. So, there are key areas that you should focus on at the moment, and one of them is literary movement. So, today we will be discussing that what literary movement is and literary movements from Renaissance period. So, the first question, what is a literary movement? So, literary movement are collectives of writers that share similar trends, ideas, philosophies, and societal norms which shapes literature through their specific period. So, basically, it is a movement that is trying to shape everything with certain ideas and trends. So in this, we will be first reading about Renaissance period. So what is Renaissance? We all know Renaissance is rebirth of classical art, literature, and learning, and this period spans from 1500 to 1650. That is from early 16th century to mid 17th century. So what are the key characteristics that these people generally give? So the authors, they often react to the dominant style of the previous generation. They are sharing the similar ideology and a common purpose that would help the society to get a better version of themselves. Any movement that comes after other movement is always a reaction against the previous one. So, just we will be reading seven types of literary movement in Renaissance. And the first one is Scottish Chaucerian. What is Scottish Chaucerian? The people who tried to imitate Chaucer and were successful in this, they are known as Scottish Chaucerian. Chaucer, we all know he is a very great writer, and technically he was the first in 14th century to write in English language, because before this there was some other language. And he wrote his magnum opus, The Canterbury Tales, in English. And the majority of writers had tried to imitate Chaucer, but very few got succeeded in this task. And the writers who are successful in this, they are known as Scottish Chaucerians. And the writers are James I of Scotland, William Dunbar, Sir David Lindsay, Gavin Douglas, and Robert Henryson. The works I have mentioned are important from exam point of view, so please have a look. Okay, so the next thing is the university wits. Why are they known as university wits? What is meant by wit? Wit means intellect, dimag ki buddhi. And university is the university from where they belong to. Okay, so the term university wits is coined by George Sainsbury. Sometimes, not many times we have seen in paper that there is a question who coined the term university wits. So it is none other than George Sainsbury. This is a potential question that you should keep in your mind. So these are the writers from Elizabethan era who studied either at Oxford or Cambridge University, and so they are known as university wits. So who are the writers? They are Christopher Marlowe, Robert Greene, Thomas Nash, John Lilly, Thomas Lodge, George Peele, and Thomas Kidd. So the first three writers belongs to Sorry for the delay. So the first three writers, that is Christopher Marlowe, Robert Greene, and Thomas Nash, they belongs to Cambridge University. Okay, so they belong to Cambridge University. Uh, just a second. Cambridge. And the next three, John Lilly, Thomas Lodge, and George Peel, belongs to Oxford University. Okay. And this, Thomas Kidd, he neither belonged to Cambridge nor to Oxford. Yet he is counted among the wits because of his similar intellect of rest three. And I would suggest you to please read his the Spanish tragedy. This is very interesting play that you will like. Okay, so please have a read. So the potential question that you will see from university wits is who belong to which writer belong to which university, and this thing that the term was coined by whom? George Sainsbury. This is a potential question that you will come across in your paper. So the next thing is comedy of humors. So comedy of humors. This concept was given by Ben Jonson in Every Man in His Humor, and this flourished in Restoration Age. According to Ben Jonson, comedy is of two types: comedy of manners and comedy of humor. Currently, we will be reading about comedy of humor because the next is comedy of manner. So उस वक्त हम लोग देखेंगे comedy of manner क्या होती है. अभी हम लोग comedy of humor देखते हैं. So what is comedy of humor? So humor क्या होता है? Something that is natural, that is uh, into your nature. Okay. So comedy of humor is based upon four liquids. According to Ben Jonson, that he has said that comedy of humor is based upon four liquids. That is blood, phlegmatic, choleric, and melancholy. And there is an ancient saying that says the liquid greater in proportion in our body dominates our body. Okay, so where is the question that comes is what does blood signify, what does phlegmatic signify, what does choleric signify, and what melancholy signify? So blood signifies the person is excessively cheerful, phlegmatic that the person is overly calm, choleric or yellow bile that means he or she is hot tempered, and in case of melancholy he or she is excessively sad. So you need to uh, learn about this four things. Okay, so next thing, comedy of manners. What is manner? Manner is something that we adopt, that is taught to us since we are a child. So something that is into our environment that we had inherited. The values that we have inherited, that is our manners. So comedy of manners is like that only. So this also flourished during Restoration Age, and this thing celebrates life. The four writers that are important in this comedy of manner is George Etheridge, William Wycherley, William Congreve, and Richard Sheridan. Then the two people, William Wycherley and William Congreve, are very important. His plays and the two plays that I have prescribed here is also very important. Okay, William Wycherley and William Congreve. Again, The Country Wife and The Way of the World. The school of scandal is also important as they ask about this in from which school they belongs. So they belong to comedy of manner. Then the two more potential questions that you may come across is Jeremy Taylor, who attacked comedy of manners, and William Hazlitt and Charles Lamb defended the comedy of manners. So there comes question that who has attacked comedy of manners. So it is Jeremy Taylor, and who had attacked it, it is who had attacked them is Jeremy Taylor, and who had defended it, it is William Hazlitt and Charles Lamb. Okay. Now there come Sons of Ben. Who are Sons of Ben? They are followers or the writer who had tried to imitate Ben Jonson in their best way. They're also known as Man of Letters. So in this there are 11 members. that is Richard Brome, William Cavendish, Thomas Naps, Henry Glapthorne, Thomas Killigrew, William Cartwright, Marmion, Mine, Peter Hosted, Thomas Randolph, and Sir William Davenant. Now, the metaphysical poets is a important area that you have to put more emphasis on because metaphysical से questions हमेशा आती है and this is the first literary poetic movement and the term metaphysical poet is coined by Samuel Johnson. I hope you all know who Samuel Johnson is. So this is a question for you all. So answer this in the comment section below that who is Samuel Johnson and what he is known for. So the most famous master of conceit is John Donne, who has written The Flea, Sun Rising. He has written uh, he has written poem that is full of extended metaphors, like the two uncomparable things as are compared in his poems. The other writer are George Herbert, Henry Vaughan, Andrew Marvell, Abraham Cowley, and Richard Crashaw. So the writer that are important in this era, in this metaphysical poet area, is John Donne, George Herbert, Andrew Marvell, Abraham Cowley, and there is a poem of Henry Vaughan that is The Retreat. That is very important. Okay. Richard Crashaw is not that much important. You can also skip Abraham Cowley for a minute, but Andrew Marvell you can't. To his coy mistress is very important. And John Dryden gave them negative remarks. Who? Metaphysical poets. John Dryden gave them negative remarks. But in 20th century, the modernist poet T.S. Eliot gave them a fresh opinion in his essay The Metaphysical Poets and considered them as a positive. Okay. So the next thing that we will cover and the last for the lecture today is Cavalier poets. What are Cavalier poets? Cavalier poets are the supporter of King Charles I. They played important role in Civil War and they were highly influenced by Ben Jonson. And the theme, sorry, I guess there is a mistake. Just a second. I'm not sure about the theme because this theme is of just. So, who are Cavalier poet? They're supporter of King Charles I and they played important role in Civil War and they were influenced by Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson. So, who are the writers? Robert Herrick, Thomas Carew, Richard Lovelace, and John Suckling. And the important ones are Robert Herrick and Richard Lovelace. The next two you can miss. You can skip also. Okay. So I just checked. The theme that I talked about, Carpe Diem, is of both metaphysicals also and Cavalier also. So in metaphysical also we can say that their theme was Carpe Diem. What is the meaning of Carpe Diem? Please comment that down in the comment section. And that's it for Renaissance period. The next that we will be discussing is about Enlightenment age. That where there we will discuss about different clubs like Kit Kat Club, Scribblers Club, then Graveyard Poets and all. So I hope you liked the video and the lecture. So please stay tuned with our channel. And if you want the PDF of this, you can get connected with us on our Telegram group so that you will not miss the PDF. And that's it for the class. Thank you, students. Happy reading.